All right, let's go over how to use your trade tracker spreadsheet. Now, this is the spreadsheet, or a similar one to this is the ones that John and I use every single day in our trading. And so we want to share that with you. And so I'm just going to do a video to kind of show you how it works for those that maybe aren't overly familiar with Excel right off the bat. Now just know that this is just how our spreadsheets work. You can make any changes or customizations to colors or lines or anything you want, and for that you need to know maybe a little bit about Excel or a little bit about Google Docs. Both this spreadsheet will work in both. But it comes right out of the box. You know, you can download it and it will have everything that you're going to see that I'm going to show you. So the first thing I want you to know is that it has 3 tabs. One is your trading tab of the current month, and we do a new tab, a new green tab every single month. So there's one that just has some demo data, you know, loaded up for you that just says 01 of 22. So that would be January of 22. And like I said, we change that out and do a new tab every single month. And then we have a master tab, and we never type anything on the master tab. That's just the one that holds all the formulas and is like there so that if any of these get messed up or if you want to make changes, this is the one you make copies from. And then John just has a forecaster in there because we've had some people ask about it, and it was something that he made for us for me when I first started trading and was looking at different compounding, what my goals were per month and what I was pulling in, what I could expect, and that kind of thing. And so I'll show you how that works as well. And so on the first tab here, I want to show you again, like the green tab that or the month tabs, those are the ones you're going to use to actually journal your trades. This master is the one you make a copy from. So let's say that we were going to, you know, do a new month for, you know, February or July or whatever month it is. You're going to, and I'm on a Windows computer, but you're going to come this tab right here and you're going to right click on the tab. And if you right click on that tab, you come here to move or copy, and you click this and it says, you're just going to say create a copy and say okay. And so it's going to create a copy and it put it over here as master 2. So this was the master, and it always puts it at the beginning. And so right here, I would just rename, or this is what I do. I right click again on this tab right down here and I click rename. And so let's say it was 07 of 22, and because we usually run a full year on these you know, per spreadsheet, and then I usually change the tab color you know, just to green because that's the, you know, that's the current tab, and I would even change the tab color of the one that I'm not using anymore to gray or white. And so it just kind of is a color coding saying, hey, this is the tab I need to be on, not the red tab, you know. And so it just keeps all of your formulas and everything intact. So that's how you make a new tab, and that's how you edit, you know, the tab names here at the bottom. Just right click and click either rename or move or copy. Okay. And if you come up here to the top of your spreadsheet, every spreadsheet will look like this when you get it. And you have data that's kind of telling you about your performance and how your strategy is doing, and some useful calculators here on the left that I'll show you how to use in just a second. And you have these graphics here that I have pulled in from the course, and this is really just kind of for new traders or people that aren't necessarily, you know, knowing everything off the top of your head yet. And so I just have from the course, I just have the you know, London, the New York, and the Tokyo session open and closing hours in case you don't know those. The lot sizes, just to remind you of those. I have the 7 major currency pairs along with their country and their nickname, just in case you're still trying to remember those. And I just have a little graphic here of win-loss ratios, just to remind you that, you know, when you're at a break even, when you're profitable, and when you're not profitable. You don't have to keep any of these here. And the cool part is when you get to a point where you're not really using those anymore, all you have to do is select one or all of them and hit your delete button, and you can add any picture you want there, or any graphic or any data that you feel like would help you be at the top. Because like I said, for us, this this is up every day that we trade, and the top stays stationary. Even as you enter your trades in these lines down here, the top remains. So anything, this is prime real estate to remind you, of what you're doing. One of the things that you can do is, if you have a vision board or goals, I work with a lot of people that I go, put the goal sheet, put your vision board at the top. So if you click on insert here and pictures and just navigate to where your picture is, and you can have your vision board here and some of your goals of why. Remind yourself of why you're working. I have clients for cars, or for, a purchase they're working for, or a certain goal of, percentages, or, different things that you could put there, and you're staring at that all day. And so subconsciously you're wanting to picture yourself in those pictures. So that's just another option. It can be trading information. It could be, information about your pair, about confluences. You can take a screenshot of another chart, that you're looking at, or the dollar index. So there's a lot of different ways that you can use this real estate right here, other than the graphics it comes with. Now these cells over here, what you have is the number of pips won, and the number of pips won. All of this is populated for you. These blue areas, you don't want to type in any of these cells. Okay, this information will be there automatically. For the pips won, that actually comes from this column right here. When you enter in that you won 8 pips, or that you won however many pips, or lost by entering that with a negative, it is going to automatically calculate that here. The same thing here, the pips lost, anything that's negative is going to pull those in. The net pips, so that's just going to pull in, it's just how many pips you are net, and then your pip return on investment here is at 31.43%, just for these 3 little example trades that I have in there. But that is going to be dynamic, that is going to change as you enter in, information of your trades. As you're journaling and tracking your trades, it's going to change with you. Right here, this is automatic. You do not need to type anything in here, and I'll show you how to use these columns in a few minutes, but it's just going to, tabulate your data, how many trades you've won, how many trades you've lost, and what your win and loss ratio is, but it hits your win ratio here. This one is a little different. This right here tracks your growth percentage, and you have what your beginning balance is. Now these 3 sections right here that have yellow highlights, those are the cells that you have to type in. So this is asking you at the beginning of the month what your beginning trading account balance is. And then it takes and calculates your win. So your trade value is here. It's going to calculate that trade value. It's going to give you your new balance, which won't be exactly, because you may have like some commissions or different things that come out of your account, but it's going to be very, very close. And it's going to keep a dynamic total, running total of what your growth is, whether it's positive, whether it's negative, and don't get overly attached to that, because each month is going to change. Right here, you have a calculator. And if you remember our unit on position size, and that a lot of people trade by percentage of what they're willing to risk, and usually that's 1% or 2% or 3%, and not usually over 5%. But you'll come in here and you again have your trading balance here. And so let's say our balance was 54.30, and it's going to calculate and tell us what 1% of our trade is, or 1% of our balance if we're trading that. So it would say every trade would be $54. If we were trading 2%, every trade's $109. If we were trading 3%, it's $163. It's just a calculator that's just right there because this is always on your screen. And sorry, just to go back 2 seconds, this beginning balance right here, you would also change that to whatever your beginning balance is in the month, and it'll just calculate the balance and growth automatically for that. Sorry, I think I forgot to say that you would change that balance. So the highlighted boxes are the ones that you type in. This one again is nothing but informational. If you don't want to use that, if you do it in your head and you know it, or you don't want the calculator there anymore, just delete it. This is the same. It is just a calculator because this is up all day, or you should have it up all day while you're trading. And this is the number of units. So every time you enter a trade, like, in this case, we're entering $109 trades. And so you're going to have a number of units that each trade is worth that you're entering. That number of units is going to depend on what pair you're trading, what your account balance is, and what your risk, preference is for your account. But you'll have the number of units. And in this case, it's just pre-populated with 14,238. That's the number of units here. Now what this is for scaling out. So let's say that you wanted to scale out 70% of your, trade after you hit it, take profit 1. It's telling you that you would close out 9,966 units, and that would pull 70% of your trade off the table. Then if you wanted to now do a take profit 2, you would pull an additional 2,847.6 pips off the table to pull 20% more of that original order off the table. And then if you wanted to pull the 10% off, it's the 1423.80. And so you can change that number. Let's say you wanted to do 80-10-10 or 50-30-20, however, whatever percentages you want to do. We already went over that. That is really personal per person. But all you have to do if you want to change that is you have to click on the cell that has the formula in it. And remember, I said you don't want to enter numbers here. It calculates automatically. Like if I change this to, 100 and 2,360 units, it's going to automatically, recalculate that. So you don't ever want to type into these cells, only this fluorescent yellow cell, unless you're going to change that number that it's trying to give you the calculations for. And in that case, you would click on the cell that you want to change, and you would then change that number right here on this formula to 0.5. Are you trying to do 50%? What are you trying to do? These are the numbers that I was currently running, so that's why it's there. And you could just retype in, like if you change it to 50%, you can change it to 50% here, and then come here and click up here on the formula line and then change it to 0.5 and hit your enter button. And now it's taking 50% instead of 70%. And this right here is just, it's not a calculation. It just actually just holds the text so you know what it's pulling. That is just a calculator. You do not have to have it to make the spreadsheet work. It's just something that John and I put up there, that might be helpful to you. The same thing is here. You can change this in the same way. Say that you want this 3% to be 5% because you've said, oh, I want my risk to be 5%. You can just change that so it's 5%. And right here in this square, in this cell that you don't normally type in, you come up here to the formula and change that to 5%. And now it's telling you what 5% of your balance is versus, 3% now. And, oops. I did that wrong. Versus the 3% now. And so now it's 3% again. So you can change the formulas, but if you want them to stay, again, you don't necessarily have to type in those cells because they populate automatically just with you, changing the input here on these cells, on the ones that are fluorescent yellow. So once you kind of get your amounts set, they're going to come at 1, 2, and 3%, and it's 70, 20, and 10. You know, again, change them to whatever you want. Now, when you are actually trading, each day you have the date. You have the date that you enter the trade, and let's say this is 1/10/22, January 10th, and then whatever your pair is, you know, whatever the time is. Now this is done in military time, so let's say that we entered in at 1:30. This column right here is for the stop loss that you're using for your trade entry, and so whatever your stop loss is for that particular entry is what you would enter here. And this is the column that we use for your trade entry picture. So we take a screenshot of your trade entry. So what you would do when you're ready to do that is you're going to be, if you're in TradingView or whatever, you know, whatever your trading platform is. If you're in TradingView though, I'm just going to pop over and show you how to do that really easily. And what we do is we take a picture of the entry, because you don't know how the trade is going to play out, whether it's actually going up or whether it's going down, or what it actually is going to happen after you place your trade. And so what you would do is you would mark up your charts however you want to, you know, in whatever way that you do mark it up. And I'll just do a couple little things here so that you can kind of see how it does. And then for TradingView, all you do is you come up to the top right hand corner here, and you're going to click on this take a snapshot, this little camera, and you come right down here to copy link to the chart image. And when you click that, it's going to take just a second. It's going to copy the link, and you're going to see, you know, this notification come up at the bottom. And then all you're going to do is come over here to your spreadsheet, and you're going to paste that link in here. Now you can either do a Control-V, which I'm on a Windows computer. You can Control-V, or you can right click on that cell that you want to put that in, and you could just say paste, and it'll paste in that entire link. And so while the cell width is very small, that entire length is actually, you know, in there. And so then after that, now that is all that you enter when you're placing a trade. It's just these, you know, these couple of columns that you're going to fill in, because you don't know what's happening after that. These two columns show whether you're winning or losing a trade, and it really just kind of gives you a visual of what's happening. I'm going to show you. I'm going to click over. So this is a pair that I was, or a strategy I was testing out live a long time ago. I think a couple years ago. Yeah, back in 2021. And as you can kind of visually see, it wasn't performing very good, which is why I didn't continue trading that. But it kind of, with the red and green, just kind of gives you a visual, you know, going forward. And so that's why we do that. And with this, whichever one, whether you win or lost, you have to put the number 1 in there, and it will automatically fill in the color for you. And so you're just come down anytime you win or lose trades, and it just kind of gives you that visual. The very next column is your exit date. And so we're going to say we exited this on the same day we entered it. So you're just going to, you know, enter 110 if, or whatever the date is, and then the number of pips that you won total. And so on this, we're going to say we won 20 pips. Our stop loss though was 15, and we're winning 20. And so that's where a lot of this information comes in, you know, at the top of you know, looking at what our trade information is. It's pulling all of that information, and it's starting to populate this at the top. Then you have this next column here for the exit picture. So let's say that over here, I'm on TradingView, you know, that our trade did win, and you know, you're saying, oh, this is so great. And so now after the trade is done and you let it run and you've closed your trade, you're going to do the same thing for your exit picture. And so exit, great trade, and we want to just you know, then make whatever notes you want, because this is something that you can return back to later and very quickly look at why you took the trade, what your confluences were, what you saw, why you closed. Make any notes, mark your charts up accordingly, and then you're going to come over here and do the same exact thing. I'm just doing Control and V, and it's going to paste that link there, and you don't have to worry if the entire link is not there. All you have to do is come up here, you know, click on that cell and come up to the top, and it'll either take you straight to it, like it just pulled up this picture here for me, or, you know, you can just click on it and copy the link right up here at the formula bar. And then you have whatever notes that you want, you know, just to telling you about your entry, your exit, how you felt about it, your emotions, what, you know, your recounting of what the trade did. So just your notes, and you have the trade value. And you see when I type this in, it is automatically updating not only your win rate, your growth, your win-loss ratio, it's updating your pips, your pip return on investment. So all of this information is automatically populating as we're filling in the trading journal. And so again, this is just, you know, what John and I pull up on our screens anytime we are trading. It's just very, very quick, and we just have in the habit. We just fill out those couple of columns when we place a trade, and we fill out these couple of columns when we're done with the trade. We don't overthink it. And I think both of us only spend a couple seconds for each trade in just, you know, just journaling them, because it's a discipline that we started when we first began trading that has really served us well in looking at what our numbers are and how they're performing. And the last thing that we have with this spreadsheet is just John has a forecaster in, and he really put this in for me. We've had a couple people ask about it, and so we left it in. You don't ever have to use it. You can use it, not use it. But if you have a goal of a daily percentage, and just, you know, in this, the pre-populated data that's in here, it just has it at 1%, but you have whatever your beginning balance was, and in this, you know, you can be 5,500, say you have a $5,500 account, that if you hit a 1% per day, it just shows you what you're making and what your balance would be at the end of a month. And that's all it is. It's just kind of giving for somebody that's very data oriented or very growth oriented, or that's motivating to them, or that they on this day, you know, made 2%, and or now they're trying to make 2%, or, you know, whatever, however you want it to be. It just was a picture of compounding, and like I said, for us, just kind of motivational in the beginning. And so we left that in case it was helpful for someone. These obviously populate themselves, and the only thing that you have to fill in again is the yellow fluorescent cell here of the highlight. And again, you know, that one you don't even have to use it. You just want to use your trading tab and enter in your trades, and each month start yourself a new sheet, and then go back and look at your wins, look at your losses, look at what's working well, what's not. You can always look at, you know, since you're tracking the stop loss and the number of pips won, if you just look at these couple little examples here, your stop loss was 12 and you only won 8 pips. That's less than 1-to-1 ratio. This was 12 stop loss and you lost 12 here. That's a 1-to-1. Your stop loss here was 18 and you won 15 pips here. That's less to 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio. Now what that means is that if you come up here to this graphic, is that to be profitable on 1-to-1, you have to have at least a 60% win rate. And what you're seeing is right now, based on the data that's on your sheet, you're only rocking a 50% win rate after we lost this one right here. Now if we won this one right here, you know, now you're rocking a 75% win rate. But it just, that's why I included this up here, so that you can just kind of see where you're at on your chart based on your risk to reward. So again, there's just a lot of data on there for you to look back. Start that discipline early, keep it up, and at least for your, you know, for your entirety. I know traders that have been trading 10, 15 years and they still journal all of their trades. And those are just the people that take it seriously as a business, just like a business owner would track their costs of any goods that they're selling. They track their profit. They know their sales exactly, you know, what costs go into everything. So do traders that take it very seriously. So enjoy the spreadsheet. There's so many areas and places on the internet that you can do search if you don't know how something works in Excel. We're not really, supporting Excel, but we are, just providing the spreadsheet. You can delete the formulas, do whatever you want to do with it, and we hope that it serves as a blessing to you.